米大リーグドジャースの大谷翔平は日本時間24日、敵地フェニックスで行われたダイヤモンドバックス戦に1番投手兼 DH で出場しました。大谷は術後最長となる6回を投げ、5安打無失点、8奪三振と圧巻の投球を披露しました。打撃では1四球を選び、1得点を挙げて27試合連続出塁を記録。今季通算142得点目となりました。しかし、試合は中盤以降に流れが変わります。4点リードの7回にドライヤーとエンリケスが3失点を喫し、さらに9回にはスコットが2失点を許して、チームはダイヤモンドバックスに5対4で逆転サヨナラ負けを喫しました。試合後、ロバーツ監督は、ビビっているか慎重になりすぎている。投げ切るという信念がないとブルペン陣に厳しい言葉を投げかけました。また、地元放送局の試合後番組には、通算204勝を誇るレジェンド OB のオーレル・ハーシュハイザー氏が出演。スコットの表情からも自信を失っている状況が見て取れると自身の見解を示しました。これらの模様を日本語字幕付きでご紹介します。
Almost punctures the ceiling here. Got a pop fly left side for Alexander. 2 up and 2 down in the third. He did once puncture a hole in the Tokyo Dome with a home run that poked right through it. That's not even just one of those legend has it things. It actually happened. That'll be a few pages in that very thick book. Yeah. One of the many thick books that'll be written about him as time goes on.
Just the absolute dedication and focus that it takes to be two different people in one, and you could argue 10 different people ultimately, but to have a pitching mindset is so much different than what he's talked about it, how much different he is in his head at the plate when he's just hitting versus the games like this when he's doing both. The expectation he has on himself as a pitcher versus a hitter. This is his craft. This is something he takes so much pride in. And as much as we've seen him do everything last year, the 50-50 club, all the stuff offensively, this is ultimately what Shohei puts on the top of all his shelves of priorities, focus, and what he really ultimately wants to be the best at.
You use the word craft. Hitting is more reactionary. Hard to have that look like a craft, feel like a craft. I know your swing can be a craft, but when you're the one dictating the terms, that's, I think, where you can drive it to that level of craft.
Yes. And that's where I think it challenges him in a way that nothing else in this sport can. I mean, just watching what he does game to game. I mean, he tries to be so unpredictable and changing the way that he'll throw every pitch and how he throws them. And it's so hard because pitchers are so routine, and yet he mixes it up. Kicks it to another gear. I mean, what he's done these last 3 starts has been unbelievable.
That's a bouncer back to Ohtani. Throws it to the bag for 1. Edman to first. There's 2. A double play. 5 more scoreless innings from Ohtani, who's got a little look in his eye, doesn't he? A little extra edge tonight. The All-State Good Hands replay. Ohtani gets his comebacker and starts a 1-4-3 double play. Has to hustle off of the mound because he's going to lead off this inning at the plate.
Such great reacts. The way that he could do so many different things. I always think it'd be fun to, when we were talking about him pitching out the bullpen or what they could do if they didn't have the Ohtani rule, it's like, shoot, watch him play the outfield. Like, let's put him in all the positions. Shohei could do so many things. You saw a look at the defense in that last inning. This stuff has been really good. Look at the swing and misses. All 16, by the way. 16 through 5 innings. That 4-seam, but dynamite up at the top of the zone. Out with a sweeper and curveball off of that. Big swing and miss stuff with the breaking ball and the fastball. Throwing the fastball more. Hit 101 miles an hour in this game.
Opponent's just 2 for 18 against his fastball the last 2 games. And how about those numbers the last 4? 1 run allowed.
27 strikeouts to 4 walks. I mean, come on. It's otherworldly. You know that he's going to attack the strike zone, but he's been so unpredictable with how he's done it.
unpredictable, and even if you could predict it, that's still a huge adjustment to make in terms of velocity. Back to the curve, McCarthy barely stays alive, and we've seen that curveball make a huge jump in usage during this recent stretch, and that's the reason for it. Yeah, he's got 7 different pitches, but most of them are pretty hard. Even the splitters, low 90s, sliders, high 80s, sometimes touches 90s. So to have that pitch that does give him the speed separation has been part of him, to use your word, be otherworldly lately.
Yeah, about 80% of his pitches, even though he has 7, have been the fastball or a breaking ball. The problem is the breaking ball can be a sweeper, slider, or a curveball, and they're all so different.
Bouncing ball along first. Ohtani gets there and tags McCarthy out. And apologizes for tagging him.
Sorry, I got you there. But I'm really not sorry, because at the end of the day, like, watch this move. I get down the line here. Otherwise, this is a base hit. No chance Freddie's going to get to this. Shohei with the speed, the versatility, the athleticism, and yeah, the tag to finish him off.
I don't know about you, but I'm sure a lot of you at home are like me, sitting there holding your breath, watching him go after that ball. Yeah, maybe one of the greatest athletes of all time, but still. Bubble wrap him.
Especially when you saw him running right for the runner.
Ohtani, a prolific checker of boxes. Whatever he needs to do, he does. And tonight, the goal was to start playoff mode. Pitch into the 6th, complete 6. Strike away from doing that. Strike away from a season-high 9 Ks. Late swing and a little pop into left for a base hit.
Only Corbin Carroll.
Drop shot.
I mean, after 100 miles an hour in on the hands, and you talked about it, Joe, and a 25-mile-an-hour difference. Curveball down below the zone. I don't even know how he hit this thing. I mean, he barely does. A little chip shot onto the green.
2 on, 2 out in the 6th inning. Another 2-2 pitch from Ohtani. Line drive center field. Pages is there, and 6 scoreless innings from Shohei Ohtani. 19 2/3 his last 4 starts in just 1 run. He goes 6 innings for the first time. And punches that box of going 6 innings for the first time. Looked very frustrated coming off of the mound there. Some hard contact to finish off that inning. Perfectionist that he is. He struck out 8 of the first 13 hitters. Didn't have any Ks over the last 2 innings. And not that he needs strikeouts to be satisfied, but I think that he probably saw the drop off in location and command a little bit those last 2 innings. Still though, bottom line, 0s.
And I love this conversation that's continuing to happen. Mark Pryor and Shohei, just everything that he's feeling, and all you talked about, the frustration that he kind of had in that last inning coming off. You could tell his mind was just, okay, this is what I want to make sure I do. It's almost like having a journal, being able to kind of say everything as you're still in the moment.
Yeah, the guys coming in out of the bullpen right now, they feel all the pressure. And if you want pressure games down the stretch, we're going to have pressure games down the stretch, especially after a comeback like that from the Snakes. This game should have been in hand for the Dodgers, but they just can't get through those last few innings. Tanner Scott comes in, and he is at a place where he's got 4 scoreless outings in a row, and all of a sudden, he's hitting somebody, he's walking somebody. The sacrifice bunt with 2 strikes gets him in a hole, and all of a sudden the sac fly, which almost looked like a walk-off home run, and then the Dodgers end up losing on the 2-out base hit.
Yeah, and the Dodgers were in complete control of this game, Jerry. And then in the 7th inning, Jack Dreyer comes in, he gives up a couple of hits. Enriquez comes in, gives up a 2-run bomb. And that's really where the thing, where the Dodgers struggle started.
Well, it's a good thing I lost my mic to start the show. Really good thing I lost my mic. I mean, it's unfortunate. You know, once again, the bullpen is unable to hold a lead. 4-run, 4-0. Shohei Ohtani pitched an incredible ball game. You cannot hold the lead. And the Dodger bullpen, listen, we understand that they're trying, but this is not the trying league. This is the big leagues. You have to be able to make pitches. You see the 3 base on balls there. These pitches are center cut, and especially at that ballpark in Arizona, balls are going to be driven. So you got to be able to make pitches. Once again, 95 miles an hour, yes, but guess where it's at? In a happy zone. Inner half, so a hitter can drive the ball out of the ballpark. So you have to be able to execute pitches. And again, there's not really nothing wrong with the pitch selection. You have to execute pitches. Got to pitch down in the zone. And when you leave pitches middle of the plate, guess what? Big league hitters are going to square you up. And we saw that again tonight.
It's where you throw the ball. You're right, Jerry. And you know what? You have to know your spray pattern. You have to know this is how I throw strikes, and this is where it's going to be if it misses. So you have good misses and you have good pitches. What they have right now is they've got bad misses and meatballs. And you can't pitch that way and expect to be successful.
And the last pitch, Tanner Scott, everything was cutting in. He didn't mix it up. You have to be able to mix things up. Out, up, in. You got to give the hitter different looks. Everything is down and in. Here to start the bottom of the ninth inning, gets hit on the foot. Execute a bunt play, 0-2 pitch. You had it. Maybe elevate the fastball. Maybe get him to pop up. Yes, it's a tough pitch to bunt, but it's easier to bunt the ball down than it is up. Here's another pitch. Why are we going in? Either a breaking ball down, get in the chase, or something up and away. Maybe you get a swing and miss, kind of like Alex Vesia did, or a pop-up. Now you get the young kid with quick hands, get something he can get in the air. And here, this is center cuts. Another pitch with 2 strikes. He saw that pitch 6-7 times. You give a big league hitter the same look 3 or 4 times in a row, guys are going to barrel it up. So it's really disappointing. I know we all are disappointed. The fans are. The Dodger players are. 4-0 lead. D-backs walk-off winners.
You look at Shohei Ohtani's last start against the Phillies, 5 no-hit innings. Then the bullpen gives up 9 runs over the final 4 innings. Tonight, 6 shutout innings. Bullpen gives up 5 runs over the final 2 2/3. But the bigger question right now is, what do you do with Tanner Scott? This is the 10th blown save for him this year. I know these are all important games, and you sign him to a 4-year contract, and you want him to be the guy, but we've seen a lot of times where he's just not able to get those outs.
Yeah, and he is still out there because of the contract right now. You get a lot more rope with the guys that you were trusting coming into the team, and then you get a lot more rope once you're struggling and you have that kind of contract. And you know what? They are giving him everything he can, but he might just hang himself on this. It might be the point where maybe he doesn't make the playoff roster. Maybe they say, let's take the wild card series off. Or let's put you in a different role where it's not as high a leverage. But I don't know. They are trying everything they can to get it going. For me, he is just so rotational right now. It is the hips and the shoulders are rotating at the same time. He looks like, to me, the hitters are seeing him very well. And most of his strikes are in the same area. They're kind of low and in or low middle to right-handed hitters or to left-handed hitters. So the left-handed hitters don't have to worry about anything on the inner half to really set up any breaking balls. And the right-handed hitters don't have to worry about anything on the outer half. So all of a sudden, not only is he missing his spots, but when he hits his spots, they kind of know where he's going.
You cut the plate in half. If you're a right-handed hitter right now, you cut it in half, you're looking in the whole time because you're not worried about him spotting something outer third for a strike. And that is frustrating. I'm sure to Tanner Scott, unable to have feel for his pitches, and he's coming in to the right-handed batter, and that's why guys are being able to square him up. Even with 2 strikes, they're taking aggressive hacks because they don't have to worry about outer third.
Top-tier stat line brought to you by Arco. Shohei Ohtani making his 100th starts. So now he has 100 starts, 100 homers. Jerry's the only player since Babe Ruth to do that.
I mean, we've seen every single day him doing electric things. To do something only Babe Ruth has done, it is truly something special. Obviously, Shohei Ohtani, incredible talent.
First guy to do it without a belly.
Babe Ruth wasn't that fat.
I didn't say he was fat.
He was big-boned. That's what he was.
Okay.
Let's head back to Arizona and hear from Shohei Ohtani with Kirsten and the media.
Well, first, just being able to get through 6 innings of work, how much was that just kind of a big step for you as you do prepare for your next outing, which is going to be in the postseason?
そうです。まあ5回まで、この間までは5回まででしたけど、またワンステップ、踏めたのは良かったですし、ポストシーズンの最終登板の前に、前にこうやって最終的なステップを踏めたっていうのはプラスのことかなと思います。
Is it something in which, I know Dave Roberts said that it was a conversation you guys had, but have you started to feel just the pressure of wanting to push yourself deeper into the games, considering just some of the hiccups of the bullpen right now?
もともと今年は5回ぐらいまでをめどに、そのぐらいのボリュームで、最後まで投げれればリハビリとしては OK じゃないかなみたいな話から始まってましたけど、チーム状況もいろいろ加味して昨日ホテルでミーティングして、球数、100球はないかなとは言ってましたけど、6回までいけるのであれば6回まで行きたいなっていうミーティングをしました。
Shohei Ohtani's now thrown 16 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings. He was touching 100 miles an hour a couple of times in the 6th inning. Or what did you see from Shohei tonight?
You know, when you put a K-zone together for an outstanding athlete that can throw any pitch at any time, let's take a look at what he did with 2 strike counts against righties and against lefties. This is when you can be a mystery because sometimes it's a 3-2 count, sometimes it's an 0-2 count or a 1-2 count. Different information exchange, but the information exchange with Ohtani doesn't matter because he can throw any pitch at any count. And now, the way he's gone in September, not giving up any runs, it's unbelievable that he can just execute whatever he needs. He can read swings, he can read foul balls, he can read hitters' body language, he can read whatever they want, whatever he needs to. There were a few counts that he got backed into tonight where he just said, I'm going strength against strength, fastball, fastball. But rarely was he backed into that.
Listen, anytime a guy like a Shohei Ohtani with that velocity can throw any pitch at any time, you said, oh, he is an absolute mystery. That's why that 99-100 to the hitter seems like it's 105, 107, and they are so late because he can throw the slider, the curveball at any time. That's why he is that good and that talented. But again, for him to throw any pitch at any time, that's what makes him so special. That's what I call him the Big Show.
There was one moment tonight, Jerry, I think everybody was holding their breath, at least briefly, momentarily. That was when there was the comebacker, and Shohei was just fine, was able to not make that play to get the out, but at least he stayed in the game and looked fine.
He did stay in the game. We had a scare in Colorado. He got hit by a comebacker there in Colorado, but again, he's as tough as it gets. And Shohei Ohtani, he's not a small man. 6'4", about 215, 225 pounds. This is a rocket, but it squared him up. Thankfully, he is okay. Tough as nails. He looked for it. Looked like he got him on the glove hand, right in the palm. One more look at it. Thought he should have made the play. That's how talented he is. But all in all, he stayed in the ball game because he's a hockey player, John.
I don't think he's a hockey player, but I think he's a really good two-sport star on one field. He can
probably play hockey, too.
You say he can't play hockey?
No, I'm not going to say he can't play hockey.
Well, Tanner, just coming into this one, you did have 4 consecutive really good outings. Things were kind of getting back on track. With the results here in this one, the balls, what do you kind of maybe point to with this outing tonight?
I hit the first guy and walked the second guy. That puts yourself in a pretty tough spot to get out of, and I wasn't executing pitches. I gave up a long fly ball to Jorge, the outfielder, and just put myself in a bad situation. Getting the first 2 guys on with no outs it makes it definitely harder, and wasn't executing. Oh, you're trying not to get anyone else on, and I mean, out there grinding and just didn't go my way. And I mean, Vest the inning before was huge, and for that to happen sucks. I mean, should have won that game. It's my fault.
The last week of the season here, like, how much confidence do you have that you can kind of get on some kind of roll or find some sort of consistency here in these last couple of days?
I mean, tomorrow's a new day, and after today, it's just move on.
Are you one of those guys who just kind of wants to get back out there, turn the page, and a fresh start as you do prepare for what's going to come October?
For sure, for sure. I mean, for this to happen, it sucks, and it's got to end tonight, and tomorrow's a new day.
Hey, he says tomorrow's a new day, Oral, and you have to move on. But this is a guy who also said recently that baseball hates him. I mean, you got to wonder where his confidence level is at right now, having blown as many saves as he has this year, and tonight in a big spot.
Yeah, there's so many places that you kind of have thoughts. You can have thoughts when you're talking to the media, and you can have a place when you're talking to your pitching coach and your manager, and you can have thoughts when you go to pick up a baseball and play catch with your catch partner, and then maybe you move into the bullpen, and that night you're warming up. The key for him is not all the times prior to going into the bullpen and the phone ringing and they get you up. That is the key time when you really need to start thinking like a champion. But if you got to feed your brain throughout the day that when I get the ball and they tell me to get up and to go into the game, you got to make sure your brain and your thoughts are in the right place. If you're piling on with negative thoughts and woe is me and this is not going well, then that's a really hard time to flip that switch when all of a sudden they get you up. So I can't tell you where he is. I know he's depressed. I know he's struggling mentally. But there are places where you need to put that negative stuff in a box and get rid of it, and then you got to move on to thinking like you're a champion, even if you're creating fantasies in your head about it.
Absolutely, and you're just talking about the mental toughness. And Oral, you displayed that as a player for so many years, and it's tough to see a player like Tanner Scott because we know he's got great history in this game of baseball. He was a dominant reliever the last couple of years. It's unfortunate this season hasn't gone that way, and you mentioned it, John, him kind of talking negatively, and you could see it in his face. Even in that interview right there, he didn't say anything negatively, but you didn't see any confidence. And usually a closer, even if he gives it up, he's confident. He say, hey, I want the ball next time out, and next time I'm going to go out there and do my thing. He doesn't have that. He doesn't exude that type of confidence in the media. Now, he may be different in the clubhouse around the guys, but that's not who's projecting. He's not projecting that to everyone to see. So it's going to be very, very difficult.
Yeah.
Oral, because we got 5 games left. 5.
I want to see what I would love to have seen tonight is when the ball barely hit the guy's toe to lead off the inning. I wish I saw anger and argument, because that would tell me he's engaged and he's expressing it and he wants it. But when you're holding it all in and you're trying to look professional and it's all negative kind of swirling around you, that is a lot of baggage to hold. That is a lot of baggage to hold, and then to compete and be on your game. That's what I loved about playing for Tommy Lasorda. That's what I love about watching Dave Robertson, listening to a cheer guys and be there emotionally. Releasing that is such a good thing.
What does Dave Robertson do? Fans are getting out.
Exactly, because he called on 4 different guys tonight, and none of them really threw the ball well. They all had some level of struggles in this game.
And that's what's concerning. You know, we're heading 5 games left, heading into that wild card series. Who do we trust? I'm hoping somebody steps up the next 5 days.
Walks and home runs out of the bullpen have really killed them. And the walks are really the biggest thing, because if you're walking guys, that's what we were talking about. Like the spray pattern is so wide, and then when you finally throw a strike, they're in a hitter's count and you're throwing it near the middle of the plate, and that's not a good formula.
I'll say for Tanner, he's been really good as of late. 4 consecutive clean outings tonight. He talked about how he just got behind in the hit batter, the walk, etc. With 5 games left, what do you need to see from him just that shows that he's gotten back on track and also is showing that consistency?
Yeah, tonight I just think that he went way too heavy on the slider. Really didn't provide a threat for a fastball that I feel plays now. And it speaks to the predictability, and he left a slider up to Perdomo, and, you know, we got walked off. You know, you can't hit Vargas, you know, with, you know, the 5th slider, hit him with the back foot. There's a walk in there, and, you know, you just, it's hard enough to pitch, to get guys out without, you know, giving free passes. And, He's been pretty good, like you said, the last 4 up until tonight. But again, you know, as we get into this point in the season, you know, everything is more magnified.
Do they become
absorbing these late losses?
It's tough. It's tough, and you know, after Shohei pitches the way he did, and you have a 4-0 lead, thinking that, you know, using higher leverage guys to keep those guys at bay, and we didn't have a good night. And it turns out that the 9th became a leverage inning. But, yeah, I mean, it's hard to absorb those games, especially games that we need to win right now.
Is there enough time to get these guys right? 5 games left?
We're going to have to find a way. I think, you know, not each individual, but I just think that, you know, these are our guys. I do know that. I just see just careful. The getting behind, the walk-in guys, the hit batsmen, that's just a sign of you're either scared or you're pitching too careful. And that's just the way, that's just the facts. And you're not having the conviction and executing pitches for fear of failure or getting hit. And at this time of season, you got to put everything out there and trust that it's going to be good, because you know when you pitch behind and afraid to make a mistake, hang a breaking ball, you know, that's when bad things happen. And so not each individual guy, but I think, you know, as a whole, that's what I'm seeing. And hitters can smell that. I thought the sixth inning was, I thought he was taxed. I think that the running of the bases, I think that 6 up, you could see him kind of trying to, you know, manage his kind of breathing, and he was taxed. It was good, and I thought he left it all out there tonight, which we certainly needed. I feel good about him getting through the 6th inning. That's something for us to build on. And Shohei was fantastic. I mean, he was fantastic tonight.
Will he pitch again in the regular season?
No, he won't pitch again in the regular season. It'll be in a postseason game. No bullpen.
Maybe went through your mind when that ball hit off his wrist.
I was hoping it didn't hit his body. Then I was actually looking for more of the reaction from him, and so the reaction was muted. So I was pretty hopeful. And then just kind of showing where it hit. He's going to be sore tomorrow, I'm sure, on the palm, but that was probably best case scenario.
Are you surprised at all at just how that you win a game when Ohtani was just fabulous against you early? Tell us a little bit about what Ohtani was like.
Man, Ohtani is another monster. Ohtani is great. I was competing with him, and when he got to second base, I asked him in Japanese if he can get me a sign back. He said if he win the game, he wanna give it to me, but I hope he gave me now. I mean, he got the loss, but it's okay. He's gonna send it to me either way. But he's a great pitcher. You know, it was great at bat against him. All the AT, it was, you know, random 5-6 inning. The bullpen, that was great. That was a hell of a job for us.
But you're right about them having their backs against the wall tonight, because Shohei Ohtani was out there on the mound.
No, he was brilliant.
And he really was. What was your thought watching him pitch tonight?
Look, you're not going to hit that. I mean, he's throwing 101. Look at that. This guy just makes me so happy that I'm retired, Jody.
That's nasty stuff.
I mean, I go up there, I challenge him. Look at that, 101 right on the outside corner.
And that was after Corbin put on a good at-bat.
Exactly. You know, he just overmatches really good hitters. You know what I mean? You know, really good hitters don't get overmatched like that. We saw some really good hitters get overmatched.
I'm proud to be their manager for that reason. You guys saw the same thing I did. They never shut down. They were going up probably against the best stuff we've seen all year in Ohtani. He was locked in, and we knew it was going to be a tough battle for us, and we were trying to scratch across any type of momentum that we could, but he never let it happen. And then once we got into the bullpen and we started to maneuver a little bit, the boys responded.